The nine-soul steel roared furiously. Stop him! Don't let him escape! He has devoured the souls of the twin ghost emperors. They had struggled to defeat the twin ghost emperors, and now, as long as they brought the souls back to the supreme powerhouses of the mystic three heavens, the twin ghost emperors would never rise again. Hu Du, Wu Jiang, and the nine-soul steel exchanged glances and nodded, slowly encircling Yuquan and Hongya. Run! Yuquan shouted in desperation. We can't take them on. He was using all his strength to suppress the backlash from the twin ghost emperor's soul he had devoured. Consuming such a soul was not an easy task, and if it weren't for the sheer number of human experts present, Yuquan would never have chosen this risky method. But now, he was exerting all his strength to suppress the soul's backlash. If he failed, the twin ghost emperor's soul would take control of him, turning him into the same EngSubs they had just defeated. Go! Hongya knew full well that they stood no chance, her gaze hardening as the space around them shattered. The entire forest of corpses began to collapse as she grabbed Yuquan and disappeared from sight. Damn it! The nine-soul steel growled. I can't believe they had this trick up their sleeve. They even blew up the space of the forest of corpses, a stronghold of the ghost realm. Stop chasing them. The space is collapsing. We need to get the others out of here first. Chang Yu's voice echoed in the nine-soul steel's mind. Hearing this, they reluctantly gave up the pursuit, frustrated that their efforts had been in vain. Damn it! The nine-soul steel muttered again. One wrong move and everything's ruined. Shoo! Wu Jiang and Hu Du, take your men and go. Chang Yu urgently activated his battle energy, creating 2 spatial tunnels within the collapsing forest of corpses. The mysterious restriction that had only allowed entry into the forest was undone the moment the twin ghost emperors were slain by Xiao Yan. However, even in death, the terrifying twin ghost emperors never knew how Xiao Yan had managed to kill them. Xiao Yan's devastating Lotus of Desolation had struck EngSubs directly, but even for an 8th-rank ghost emperor, it shouldn't have been enough to kill him. It was the mysterious power of the Soul-Devouring Talisman that exploded upon contact with the twin ghost emperors, transforming into an immense force of suppression. At that moment, the Lotus of Desolation's terrifying power swept across them, giving the twin ghost emperors no time to react. They were obliterated. But it wasn't just arrogance that led to EngSubs' downfall. He died never knowing that the force which killed him came from one of the 12 demonic weapons of the ghost realm. The rarity of these weapons rivaled even the sacred flames, so it was no surprise that the twin ghost emperors met their end this way. Thus, EngSubs of the twin ghost emperors was utterly annihilated. Ghosts of the ghost realm were different from humans. The realm was largely composed of lingering souls, and when a ghost fell, its essence turned into a soul fragment. Unlike humans, who could still retain a part of their soul after death to escape and seek a chance at resurrection, most ghosts in the ghost realm were bound to their soul forms. Yet, when a ghost emperor fell, its essence condensed into a unique soul fragment, the mark of a ghost emperor. This meant that, as long as the ghost emperor's soul existed, it would eventually rise again. The supreme sects of the mystic three heavens had studied these soul fragments for years, but no method to permanently destroy them had ever been found. The Soul Points contest is officially over. Everyone, follow me. Hu Du's voice resounded among the remaining disciples. As Hu Du's words fell, countless gazes turned towards Xiao Yan, hovering weakly in the sky. Everyone knew that without Xiao Yan's intervention, their fate in this contest would have been disastrous. With a shared glance, the remaining participants hesitated no longer, surging into the 2 spatial tunnels with their battle energy. The contest was over, but now came the time to choose their sects. Let's go to. Xiao Yan and the others still need to cover our retreat, Luo Guang said quietly, watching as Mu Feng and Yuru flew into the sky. They all knew that the biggest beneficiaries of this contest were those few in the sky. Yet, no one harbored resentment, for without them, they would have all perished as mere remnants of the twin ghost emperor's souls. One by one, the participants orderly escaped through the spatial tunnels. We should leave too, Xiao Yan murmured, feeling his strength nearly drained, but relieved by their success. This kid, Xiao Yu grinned as he caught Xiao Yan's gaze. What started as a shared interest has now turned into a life debt. Never thought I'd be in your debt like this, he chuckled. Xiao Yu, you've endured so much these past years. From now on, you're free. The nine-soul steel said as a soft white light enveloped Xiao Yu, setting him free. I've waited for this day for a long time. Xiao Yu smiled and bid Xiao Yan farewell. Before leaving, he reminded Xiao Yan that their previous agreement was void. Xiao Yu had found another way to save the Silver Sky Thunder Wolf King, sparing Xiao Yan from further trouble. Thus, their deal was settled, and they parted as friends. Thank you for everything. Chang Yu's voice, filled with warmth, addressed Xiao Yan. You're too kind, senior, Xiao Yan replied respectfully, his gaze turning towards Mu Yingying. He noticed her staring at him as if searching for something. Despite the chaos, Mu Yingying's delicate features stood out, captivating his attention for a moment. Hey, time to go, Xiao Yan called to her, moving towards the spatial tunnel as the collapsing forest of corpses loomed over them. Mu Yingying responded softly, her twin ponytails swaying as she and her heavenly fire sacred tiger followed Xiao Yan and his companions. I wonder if losing the twin ghost emperor's soul was a blessing or a curse, Chang Yu muttered as he disappeared into the collapsing forest. With his departure, the forest of corpses ceased to exist. Xie had just broken free from his seal, only to be killed by humans. Such arrogance for a ghost emperor. How laughable, a slender figure, seated upon a throne marked by the character Immortal, sneered from a distant place. Surrounded by ghostly energy, the figure's aura was far stronger than that of the late Xie. Within the dark spatial tunnel, Xiao Yan finally exhaled a breath of relief. This wretched soul points contest was finally over. After leaving the forest of corpses, Xiao Yan found himself reflecting on his gains from the journey. Besides obtaining the Soul-Devouring Talisman, a demonic weapon from the ghost realm, he had made other gains as well. Notably, he sensed that his battle energy was showing faint signs of breaking through. This discovery left Xiao Yan quite satisfied, considering he had only broken through to a 4-star Do-D a few months ago. To experience another potential breakthrough so soon was undoubtedly exciting. At the moment, Xiao Yan was at the early stage of 4-star Do-D. By the time the Soul Points contest concluded and he joined a sect, it would naturally lead to his advancement to the mid-stage of 4-star Do-D. He knew, however, that this breakthrough was due to his battle with the twin ghost emperors, a fight well beyond his current rank. Xiao Yan also understood the importance of strength. Without the pure battle energy injected by the 3 7-star Do-D experts and his fortuitous acquisition of the Soul-Devouring Talisman, he wouldn't have dared to stand out. Even with 10 lives, he wouldn't have risked it. But fortunately, he had succeeded. After entering the spatial tunnel, Xiao Yan noticed that the other contestants' gazes towards him had changed. There was a hint of respect in their eyes, something he didn't quite understand. You really know how to keep people on edge, a voice filled with relief reached Xiao Yan's ears. Hee hee, Xiao Yan scratched his head with a grin and looked towards Chang Yu. Chang Yu was the deputy pavilion master of the Incense Pavilion's outer sect, and was likely the chief overseer of this contest. Senior, with such an unexpected incident in the Soul Points contest, how will the final rankings be determined? Xiao Yan suddenly remembered, as this was of particular concern to him. After all, only the first-place winner could enter the royal pool of the Xinling royal family. This incident was indeed our oversight, Chang Yu said, smiling slowly, but thanks to your intervention, we plan to let you, Mu Yingying, and Mu Feng all enter the royal pool. As for first place, Chang Yu smiled again but didn't elaborate. Xiao Yan relaxed upon hearing that he had secured a spot in the royal pool. Since he now had the qualification to enter, the rankings no longer mattered to him. Hee hee, Xiao Yan, you might not know, but the first place is you? Mu Feng excitedly added from the side. Clearly, there was no jealousy or ill feelings towards Xiao Yan for taking the top spot. Only happiness for his friend. Mu Feng was particularly pleased because he too had gained access to the royal pool, which was immensely satisfying. Huh? Me? First place? Xiao Yan was confused. He knew his points were high enough to be in the top 10, but he had thought Mu Yingying would be first. You're first. If it hadn't been for your efforts at the last moment, we'd all be stuck in the forest of corpses, Mu Yingying's silvery voice chimed in. Right? Xiao Yan nodded casually. He had never cared much about the rankings. His only goal had been to secure access to the royal pool. That place held something that drove countless humans mad. Sacred Flame. Even if there was only a slight chance, Xiao Yan wouldn't give up. Sacred Flame was far too precious. Hey, I let you have first place out of kindness, and you don't even say thank you? Mu Yingying bit her lip and glared at Xiao Yan, visibly upset. Then I'll thank you on his behalf. Yuru stepped forward and said to Mu Yingying. Sometimes, a woman's intuition is sharp. Yuru had sensed that Mu Yingying might have other feelings for Xiao Yan. Mu Yingying was about to retort, but the heavenly fire sacred tiger by her side stopped her. Little lady, that woman has a strange aura, almost like that of a successor. The heavenly fire sacred tiger whispered to Mu Yingying. Hearing this, Mu Yingying reluctantly dropped the matter. The reason for her interest in Xiao Yan was that he had a familiar aura about him, one that reminded her of her elder brother, Yanji. Xiao Yan, seeing the two women bickering, shook his head in frustration and turned his attention back to Mu Feng. What exactly is this royal pool? Xiao Yan asked curiously. I don't know much either. The royal pool is the most treasured possession of the Xinling royal family, and it's heavily guarded. Not even a 7-star Do Di would dare to approach it recklessly, Mu Feng explained. But one thing's for sure, it's something valuable. Otherwise, the Xinling royal family wouldn't have offered it up. That may be true, but it's possible the royal family is using the royal pool as bait to recruit contestants. After all, joining them grants you access to the pool, Chang Yu added, his tone a little contemptuous. Just a group of vain humans, he muttered. It seems the incense pavilion and the Xinling royal family don't get along too well, Xiao Yan thought to himself, quickly calculating his next move. As they continued moving through the spatial tunnel, Chang Yu mentioned that they would soon reach the mountain where they would choose their sections. Xiao Yan knew he had to start planning which sect to join. But you don't need to worry too much. No matter which sect you choose, with your talents, you will receive abundant resources, and your future will be smooth, Chang Yu said reassuringly. When will the Do Di pills be distributed? Xiao Yan quickly changed the subject. He remembered vividly that the top 10 in the Soul Points contest would each receive a Do Di pill. Reaching the mid-stage of 4-star Do Di was only a matter of time for him. With the Do Di pill, he could leap directly to the late stage of 4-star Do Di, a thought that filled Xiao Yan with excitement. Haha, such a clever little fellow, Chang Yu chuckled. Don't worry. Once you've joined a sect, the Do Di pills will be distributed. Let's go. We've reached the end. Once we exit the tunnel, we'll be at the foot of the mountain. The sect emissaries are already waiting at the top. After you've joined a sect, they will take you to your respective locations, Chang Yu said. Be wary of the Xinling royal family and Solomon. Chang Yu's voice echoed in Xiao Yan's mind just as he spotted a light gate ahead. Chang Yu was giving him a final piece of advice, though he refrained from interfering too much. With Xiao Yan's talent, he would have loved to recruit him into the incense pavilion, but he didn't want to push too hard. Xiao Yan felt a bit of comfort at this. The people of the incense pavilion seemed to be of good character. Mystic Three Heavens, let's see what you've got. Xiao Yan smiled as he moved forward, vanishing into the tunnel. A bright, sunlit mountain path lay before him, with hundreds of stone steps leading from the foot of the mountain to the peak. As he focused, Xiao Yan could sense many powerful presences waiting at the top, along with numerous figures gathered there. On the stone steps, figures moved steadily upward, attempting to ascend the mountain. Without exception, these individuals were contestants from the Soul Points contest. Having earned the qualification to climb to the summit, they were now looking forward to choosing a suitable sect to join and master new skills. Among them, a man with a heavy ruler strapped to his back walked calmly, followed closely by Mu Yingying, Yuru, and Mu Feng. By the way, where did Senior 9 Soul Steel and the Heavenly Fire Sacred Tiger go? Yuru asked, as if realizing something. Senior 9 Soul Steel went to search for the lost soul of the twin ghost emperors. As for the Heavenly Fire Sacred Tiger, it has left to undergo its own trials, Mu Yingying replied softly. Xiao Yan wasn't surprised by this information, as he had already expected it. As for Changyu and the other responsible figures like Wu Jiang, they had disappeared after giving Xiao Yan and his group some final instructions. Clearly, with the soul points contest over, they had returned to their duties. Xiao Yan, however, remained puzzled by the heavenly fire sacred tiger. His own internal flame was incredibly powerful, yet no matter what he did, the tiger paid him no heed. Only the azure flame on Mu Yingying could make it serve willingly. To Xiao Yan, the tiger looked at him as though he were a fool. This baffled Xiao Yan because his own flame was a rare heavenly flame. And although Mu Yingying's azure flame was powerful, it wasn't sacred flame. At most, it was slightly stronger than his own heavenly flame. If he could subdue the heavenly fire sacred tiger, it would be a great help, but Xiao Yan knew such things could not be forced. As for little E, ever since his awakening, he had stayed outside of Xiao Yan's Na crystal most of the time, except when he temporarily attached himself to Xiao Yan. Little E had grown into a young man, no longer the flame spirit he once was. But that was a good thing. Little E now possessed the strength of an early-stage 7-star Do D, something that delighted Xiao Yan. However, Xiao Yan instructed him to hide his strength, lowering it to that of a 5-star Do D to follow him discreetly. "Let's go," Xiao Yan said calmly, continuing up the steps. "Xiao Yan, which sect do you plan to join?" Mu Feng asked as they ascended. "From what I've heard, the Xinling royal family and Solomon don't have the best reputation. If nothing unexpected happens, the incense pavilion," Xiao Yan replied quietly, stepping forward without looking back. "The incense pavilion, huh?" Mu Yingying muttered to herself, biting her lip as if deep in thought. The 5 of them continued toward the summit. Along the way, the other contestants they passed smiled at Xiao Yan, clearly grateful. If it hadn't been for Xiao Yan, they wouldn't have made it this far. At the mountain's peak, clouds swirled around, and dozens of terrifying auras spread across the area. News of what had happened in the Forest of Yin corpses had reached the 9 major sects, and their high-level leaders were furious. They had intended to send experts to deal with the twin ghost emperors, but there were few Do Xin-level experts available, and most were in seclusion. Do D-level experts weren't strong enough to break the forest restrictions, so they had to abandon the effort. However, the news also carried the incredible feat of a young man named Xiao Yan, who, with the aid of battle energy from 3 7-star Do Dis, had battled the injured twin ghost emperors and ultimately killed them. Such an achievement, even in the powerhouse-filled mystic 3 heavens, was enough to shock the masses. The twin ghost emperors were 8th-rank ghost emperors, equivalent to human 8-star Do D experts, yet they were slain by an unknown youth. This would surely become a laughingstock if spread. "Ha ha, the boy has arrived at the foot of the mountain, everyone," a middle-aged man with a round face chuckled. "I've heard from Changyu and Wu Jiang that several participants in this contest showed great promise. Some excellent recruits," said a graceful woman, lightly parting her lips as she addressed a man in red robes beside her. "Indeed," the red-robed man nodded with a smile. "That may be, but I wonder which sect will claim the top talents among the top 10 this time," asked a burly man. "Hee hee, I wonder if your incense pavilion will end up with no new members, just like last time," a gaunt middle-aged man said teasingly, looking at the red-robed figure. "Solomon's 12th envoy, don't push it." Changyu, who Xiao Yan had seen earlier, responded with anger. "Hee hee, no need to be angry. I'm just stating the facts," the gaunt man replied slowly. "Humph," Changyu retorted. "Not everyone will be tempted by your petty offerings and join your sect. That's none of your concern, Deputy Pavilion Master of the Incense Pavilion," the gaunt man said coldly. "Humph," Changyu snorted. "A mere 12th-ranked dog of Solomon dares to challenge me? Only your top 3 envoys are worthy of standing on equal footing with me." "You." Solomon's 12th envoy's face twisted in anger. Changyu had publicly humiliated him in front of the 9 major sections. Were it not for the fact that he was only at the early stage of 7-star Do D and weaker than Changyu, he would have attacked on the spot. But he had no choice but to clench his fists and hold back, shaking his head in resignation. "Haha, enough. Today is not the day for quarreling," said a graceful figure seated at the head of the gathering. This person carried 2 jade-like swords on their back, their crystalline glow mesmerizing. With this person, the head of the 10,000 Swords sect, speaking, Solomon's 12th envoy, and Chang Yu ceased their argument. The figure's strength was on par with that of the twin ghost emperors, so no one dared to offend them lightly. More importantly, the 10,000 Swords sect was the foremost among the 9 great sects. In Mystic Three Heavens, where there were many sects, a sect competition was held every 10 years. Officially, the purpose was to assess the strength of each sect's core disciples. In reality, it was a competition for supremacy among the sections. The Xiling royal family allowed only 9 great sects to hold dominion, with all others relegated to minor sects. These 9 great sects occupied the most spiritually dense mountain ranges, which is why they retained their elite status. However, without recruiting new talent and cultivating powerful disciples, even a super sect could lose its place. Thus, every 10 years, the competition became a battleground for the younger generation of the 9 great sects and the Xiling royal family, while other factions rarely participated. Now, only 8 years remained until the next sect competition. When Xiao Yan and his group reached the summit, they saw that dozens of powerful figures were already waiting for them. Among them were a few familiar faces, Luo Guang and several others from the top 10 in the Soul Points contest. In total, 15 people stood before the waiting sect emissaries. These must be the emissaries from the 9 great sects, Xiao Yan murmured, sensing their unfathomable strength. High above, the emissaries representing the 9 great sects hovered in the air, while Xiao Yan and the others observed them from the ground, though the distance between them was small. It seems the top 10 contestants this time include some promising talents, the graceful woman from the Palace of Heartless Emotion remarked, gazing down at the 15 contestants. This woman was the emissary responsible for recruiting new disciples on behalf of her sect. Hee. Although your Palace of Heartless Emotion has the fewest disciples among the 9 great sects, their strength is undeniable. This time, an elderly man in the robes of an alchemist spoke slowly. The elder was a powerful figure from Pill Valley. Alchemists were not to be trifled with, and Pill Valley had grown into a formidable power. Its strength and influence came from both the alchemists and the warriors who served them, solidifying its place among the 9 great sects. Haha, your Pill Valley isn't lacking either. Every time, your recruits receive tremendous resources. I'm sure many of these young ones are aiming for your sect, the emissary from the Palace of Heartless Emotion replied. Ha ha ha, I'll take that as a blessing. The elder from Pill Valley laughed heartily, clearly pleased with the free choice offered to the contestants. After all, everyone knew that alchemists were the wealthiest and most resource-rich group, far surpassing any other profession. The sheer influence of alchemists, who could command strong protectors to guard them, combined with their ability to craft mysterious and powerful pills through specific formulas and ingredients, made their status ever more elevated. These constant struggles for supremacy? A sharp-eyed man shook his head slowly, his gaze falling on Xiao Yan and his group, who were still some distance away. He began to scrutinize them carefully. So that's the champion of this year's Soul Points contest? He mused. His aura may only be at the early stage of 4-star Do D, but the undeniable killing intent radiating from him is unmistakable. This kid is no sheltered flower. The man, a powerful figure from Purgatory Hall, nodded approvingly. No matter the cost, this boy must be recruited into our Purgatory Hall. He will undoubtedly achieve greatness. The Purgatory Hall expert quickly began to calculate his plans. Dealing frequently with the demonic and evil entities from the demon realm and ghost realm, he could instantly recognize Xiao Yan's extraordinary potential. This boy with the heavy ruler on his back. His soul power is truly terrifying. The elder from Pill Valley muttered, his eyes fixed on Xiao Yan from afar. Everyone knew that soul power was crucial for the strength of an alchemist. After all, powerful alchemists required immense soul perception to control flames and refine high-tier pills. However, methods for cultivating soul power were extremely scarce, which made high-ranking alchemists exceedingly rare. Thus, when the elders sensed the immense, invisible soul power within Xiao Yan, he nodded in satisfaction, already hatching plans in his mind. As for that girl, Yuru, she's quite talented too. If she joins our sect, She'll surely achieve dazzling results in future Sect competitions. A beautiful woman, a representative from Myriad Flowers Pavilion, smiled faintly at Yu, deep in thought. It's about time our sect made a comeback after all these years of silence. Damn it! Chang Yu muttered under his breath, cursing the scheming minds of those around him. As someone who had participated in the Soul Points contest, he was well aware of the terrifying potential of Xiao Yan, Mu Yingying, and Mu Feng. Seeing the others coveting them so openly left him feeling displeased. These damned brats ruined our plans. If I ever get the chance, I'll avenge the twin ghost emperors, muttered one of Solomon's experts with venomous hatred toward Xiao Yan and his companions. Next to this Solomon expert, a man dressed in an extravagant dragon robe emerged from the void. The moment he appeared, a faint yet terrifying wave of energy rippled outward. This man was none other than the current emperor of the Xianling royal family, the Xianling king. Rumor had it that decades ago, he had already reached the rank of 9-star Do Di, and now, his strength was even more unfathomable. Why is he here? The elder from Pill Valley furrowed his brow, clearly not fond of the Xianling royal family, though he still maintained the necessary politeness. Your Majesty Xianling King, to what do we owe the honor of your visit? The elder asked respectfully. Even he and the head of Pill Valley had to show deference to the Xianling King. I heard that this year's Soul Points contest produced some promising talents, so I happened to have some free time and decided to come and take a look. If any of these outstanding individuals were to join the Xianling royal family, it would be a great honor, the Xianling King said with a faint smile before falling silent. What a shameless bastard! Chang Yu muttered angrily again. It was well known that Solomon and the Xianling royal family were closely allied, and in recent years, the Xianling royal family had been sending low-profile emissaries to recruit talent. But now, with the Xianling King personally arriving, it was clear he was after some of the exceptional talents from this contest. With his terrifying 9-star Do Di power and the allure of his offers, it was likely that Xiao Yan and the others might fall into his grasp. That would be a significant loss for the Incense Pavilion. If Xiao Yan and his companions were to join them, their future accomplishments would be immense, and the Incense Pavilion's status as a super sect would be secure. Xiao Yan and the others slowly approached the powerful experts hovering in midair, where 10 sect representatives were already waiting for them. Once they arrived, the top 15 contestants would begin selecting their sects. What an overwhelming presence! Xiao Yan murmured as he caught sight of the elegantly dressed Xianling King in the sky. Even from such a distance, Xiao Yan's own battle energy seemed to freeze momentarily in response to the sheer pressure. A 9-star Do Di has surpassed the early, mid, and late stages. They've achieved the 9 turns of Do Di, and beyond that lies the Do Xian realm, came the soft voice of the Golden Dragon King. However, there's something strange about the Xianling King's aura. Though faint, there's a hint of sacred flame within it, the Golden Dragon King added, his voice low enough for only Xiao Yan to hear.